want first and foremost to reach out to your audience, man. I feel honored to be able to introduce myself and be in front of them, man. Thank you.
Hey man,
You
I feel
understand?
honored to have you on the show, man. You the legend, you know what I'm saying?
It's on like that. Don't believe we ain't going like that. For always gonna be here. Read in every what? It's here.
Puff Daddy gave the publishing back. Whoop de doo. What's it worth? What was it worth 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and what's it worth now? What did he give you back? I'm telling you, he gave me mine back a long time ago. I was the first person he called. And he said, Mark, I want you to be the first person that know this. I'm giving all my artists back their publishing, which is equivalent to giving back your girlfriend after he done poked her in the booty and raped her and did everything that he got all of the worth out. It's like a spider went in and sucked all of the insides out of it and then give it back.
Okay,
Ready?
so Mark Curry, the legend.
Yeah.
I just want to list off some of the songs that, to my knowledge, that you were a part of, that you wrote. You know what I'm saying? Back in the
Mm-hmm.
day, you and Diddy, were y'all kind of partners, or were you signed to Bad Boy?
I was signed to Bad Boy, but more than before I was signed to Bad Boy, Diddy was a friend of just like a friend of our circle,
Okay, okay,
you know. And so he
but
was always a good friend of the circle. So,
okay.
then eventually he wanted to sign me to Bad Boy.
Mm-hmm.
But when he wanted to sign me to Bad Boy, that it was a good thing. But that's just when he signed me to Bad Boy, I was signed to Bad Boy through the friends that was the circle of friends of mine. We was from California.
Right. So he
So when he
started the
signed me,
imprint and then brought you on.
what he did was he was like, I want to be cool with these dudes over here. So in order to be cool with these dudes over here, let me go ahead on and get an artist and their crew, and then let me get their artists going. So then now I have business with that crew. So then now, I have a way to, I got an artist that's signed to him. It's like
Ah,
having an artist that's signed to Whack 100 or somebody,
right.
or a big U or somebody like that, or Block Entertainment, or Big John out of New York. That every artist that was kind of like signed to that label, sometimes not all,
Hmm.
was always signed to another label first. So you had a production deal,
Ah,
and
okay.
then Puff would buy that production deal from whoever owned that production company. He'll probably do an agreement with them, and then you fall under the guidelines of that agreement.
Ah, so it was like you had two deals. So two different people were eating out your pocket.
Right, it's two people, and actually it's going to be three because what happens when you get ready to go to discuss your personal business with the label, or it might be Atlantic or Universal or something like that,
Right.
they'll tell you that you need to handle your business with Bad Boy. So it's like a way to send you for a little loop. You be like, well, I want to know what's going on with my album. They be like, well, you need to talk to Puff. And then you be like, all right, well, I don't understand. Then they got to deal with Puff. And then you got to deal with Puff. So it's like a
Ah,
a middleman situation.
so it's
That's
always
how it all
been some little wonky
middle.
stuff going on over there. Let's get to the current thing. So you released a video, or I think it was a live stream after the news came out that Diddy was, or Brother Love, or whatever he called himself these days, was giving all his old artists back their publishing, and
So
you
he was
you had a
giving
lot to
back
say
all the
about it.
old artists back their old publishing.
Yeah, they old
Keep going.
publishing.
Yeah, they old publishing.
Yeah, and
It's old. Yeah, go ahead.
I saw one of the members of the Locks. I can't remember which one it was, but he was kind of happy about getting the publishing back. But you wasn't kind of buying into the hype. So just for
Yeah,
my
I'm not.
audience that didn't see your live, like what do you think about the reason why he gave it back, and if it even matters right now?
Right. The smoke in the mirrors may be, when he's saying that he turned down a nine-figure deal and then instead of taking a 9-figure deal, he gave all the artists back their money. So we all know 9 figures is about $100,000. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say it's 100 million.
100 million.
So
Yeah.
what they said is he turned down $100 million to give the artist back the publishing. When it seemed like it would have been better for him to take the 100 million and break the 100 million down and give 50 artists 2.5 million or
Mm.
something like that.
Mm.
So it was other. So that means like, damn, if they was really, oh hey, if they was offering you a 9-figure deal and you didn't take the deal, and then instead of giving the publishing back, you should have gave some money out. That's
Right.
what I felt. Nobody wants no old publishing. Nobody wants to take this publishing that's worth um, $100 million, and now you got to go figure out what portion of it is yours. That's like too much work. Let's make it simple. You get the deal, and just give us the money.
Okay. So you
That's what
think he just totally kind of lying about that deal that he turned down, and he just wanted
I
to
kind of
gain some favor in the media when he got his new album coming out, and he like, okay, I'll just give them this publishing that's not really worth as much as it maybe used to be.
right. Well, he is just waiting on the opportunity to come out to look like the good guy because he got an album coming out. He got a lot of things going on in the media right now as far as the deal he got with Deliego, whatever his name is, with the Ciroc brand. But what my point, and people always be like, "Yo, Mark, you sound like you hurt," and I be like, "I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt at all." But what
Right.
I'm saying is complaining about the liquor distributor not distributing his Deleon brand as much as they're doing other brands such as Don Julio and Smirnoff. So he's saying that you're not making my brand available as like you're making the other brands that you distribute available. So he filed a discrimination charge.
Right.
So if you break it down, I was a brand that was like a liquor that was on his distribution thing, and he didn't put the money into me to help me as famous as he did other people. And I've been a writing hits all my life,
Right. Can you like?
and
Oh no, keep going, keep going.
it was really no way for him to be in control over my career because some stars are born to be, some stars are destined to be, and some stars, are man-made. And to me, I never really heard of a man that made a star.
Right.
So it's hard to make a star. Stars are already born to be. You can't really help nobody become who they were born to be.
Well, can you
You know.
list off for some people, for the people who might not know, you know what I'm saying? Can you list off some of the songs that the one I know and the one I think, you know what I'm saying, kind of made like the whole bad boy era and like solidified the brand was like Bad Boys for Life, right?
Yeah, that was a song that was well needed at that time. He needed a song that come through to represent, the brand and let people in, a song that really stood for Bad Boy, but it was Bad Boy for Life. And Bad Boy for Life was a song that consisted of three artists that was on this song.
Right.
Then it turned from Bad Boy for Life, and the next single was Diddy or something like that. So it was like, damn, you went all the way from Bad Boy in the Family to Diddy, and then that was a single. The D, the I, the D, the D, the Y. Damn, you just jumped ship on us real
Yes, Diddy. Say
for
what?
himself. He just jumped ship real quick and went for himself. I'm like, I thought this was a P Diddy and the Family album.
But I mean, he
Like
kind of had a history of kind of like, jumping into music videos. He was gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, he was seen.
just imagine being on a label and the boss or the person who owned the label want to be just as famous as the people who own the label. So
What
it's
was
like, damn,
what was that
you want
like?
to. It's crazy because it's like a competition. It's like what I would call it, an office competition. Like everybody in the office do whatever Puff say.
Mm,
They if they register a song wrong, if they put the credits wrong on the song, they doing exactly what Puff said do. So
right.
they just do what he say do. And sometimes when you have people that just do what you say do, And even though you paying them, sometimes you gotta. I look at a person, the whole thing of it first. Like it's almost like working them telemarketing jobs and calling old people up and robbing them for their money in their bank. Hey, it's like that. I don't want to work for that company.
Right, right. But like,
You know.
so you was signed to Diddy either through a publishing deal or whatnot, but
Yeah,
and you wrote songs like "Bad Boys for Life," the Led Zeppelin P Diddy track that was I think in the
yeah,
Godzilla movie,
yeah. And the
uh,
company.
"Come with
Got,
Me,"
mm,
well the Training Day, a song on the Training Day soundtrack.
that was with David Bowie.
Yeah, David
David,
Bowie.
David Bowie died. He passed, right?
I'm not sure. Sound about right though.
Big, big artist. But I did do a song with him.
Right,
That's you. When you got a rapper that did a song with those kind of artists. But
right.
yeah,
And
I'm
you
let's go.
and you regularly like wrote for Diddy.
Like whenever he went into the studio, it was a must that I was there because when you recording something, how when you saying something and you're not saying it from the heart,
Right.
like and you be like you tell somebody you getting on my nerves. It's a certain way you say it. It sounds, but when you say you're getting on my nerves, you be like, yo, the way you said it don't sound believable. If
Okay.
you want to say my nerve, this is how you say it. You getting on my nerves like that.
Oh, so you was like
You
producing, you was writing and like telling him how to like convey the words at the same time.
at the same time, because if I write a song for you, you're gonna have to say it the way I wrote it.
Right, right.
Like and things like I heard an interesting one today. It was it's just how you mix words together and like you could take the word sense and then you can take the word past tense
Mm-hmm.
and you can make tense and past tense rhyme, but you got to say it a certain way.
Right, right. I get you.
People have that rhythm, they don't know how to mix that stuff together. You know what I'm saying? So I was always there to say, in order to say this word got to be said first, and it got to be said like this. This is how you make people believe in what you're saying.
Right. So
You
in
know,
that, you should have a lot of like rights and songwriting credits and publishing from his
I do,
catalog, right?
I do, all the way from you read the fine prints um on the Family album, P Diddy and the Family. I wrote the joint with MJG and 8 Ball and him ride with me. I did the Lonely joint. It goes as far as back as we did to the Forever album, Lil Kim and Puff and me, gangster shit.
Mm,
We Smalls album, me, Biggie, and Busta Rhymes and Snoop Dogg on Dangerous MCs.
right,
I got all of the Black Rob album, his album. I got Muscle Gang, which is one of the hood favorite, Muscle Gang. You know what I'm saying? We got it's just a few songs, man. G Dep did the song G Dep Blast Off. That's bring the deputy home.
right, right.
That's
So
bring the deputy.
with all that publishing credit, how can, especially with Bad Boy for Life being a part of that in the movie soundtracks, how could it be? Because you see all these artists like selling their publishing and their catalogs these days for hundreds of millions. How could it be that what he gave back to you, what you were entitled to this whole time? How could it be that that's not really worth much these days? Or yeah.
Because when you break down publishing and you break down the sale publishing and then you break down the performance publishing, like
Mm-hmm.
whenever it's played on television or radio, that's one publishing. Whenever a song is sold, that's another publishing. But if a song ain't being sold, that publishing that you would get from that song sale is really worth nothing. So why would you give that back and it's worth nothing? It was worth something when the record store was open. It
Right.
was open. It was worth something when the song actually had a CD and people was buying it. But now that people ain't buying the CD and the cassette tape, whether it be an 8 track, it don't matter now.
Cause
Ain't
it's
nobody buying.
cause it's
Nobody even
streaming.
have a CD car.
Cause it's streaming, right?
streaming. Nothing. You don't even have to have a CD player. Before we used to have this big book with nothing but CDs in it, and you have them in alphabetical order and listed. You go when you get in the car, you be like, "Yo, grab the CDs out the back."
Right.
To this person with the shotgun, you be like, "Go load it up." They be like, "Ooh, we gonna load up NWA. Ooh, we gonna load up this," and then you just sit and you play those songs off the CD. That was a sale.
Mm.
You couldn't have a song unless you had that CD,
Right.
right?
I remember that.
So you ain't gotta have that now. All of that. Those days are over now. So then, if those days are over, why you gonna give me back the publishing that go to those days? I don't want. We can't make that. All that money been dried up, bro. Why don't you give me the money that it was making for the past 20 years
How
or 30
much
years?
how much
Whatever.
money do you think that is? Like how much you think in total he made from just the portion of publishing of yours that he owned? If you can
Off the
guesstimate.
portion of the public, off of mine, I know I built the pool in this house. All of the pool belonged to me.
Okay.
Somebody else put the furniture in it. I got the pool. So every time I would go over there, I'd be like, can't nobody tell me nothing about sitting by this pool. It's
Oh, okay.
my water.
You talking
It's
about
my
his
pool.
pool?
Yeah, that's my pool.
Oh, okay.
I built that pool. I paid for that. Somebody else took care of the grass. Somebody else got him a car.
Mm.
Somebody else paid for the lawn service. But at the end of the day, that's why, like, when you think about Bad Boy just wasn't Diddy. So there's no way for him to go around and put that name on his back if it's just him. If
Right.
it's just you, it's called Puff Daddy. If
Right.
it's gonna be a label, it's called Bad Boy. You can't go, like, he can't go on tour right now and say Bad Boy's going on tour and bring him and his new artist, and it's like, yo, that's not Bad Boy. That's not who the people want to see.
Mm-hmm. But let me ask you this: like, if the deal was made back then, you know what I'm saying, fair and square contractually, he owns this portion of the publishing of this artist, that artist, blah blah blah. Why should he feel the need to give y'all the publishing that he owned? Because he didn't like take it like in a nefarious way, did he? Or did he? You know what I'm saying? But why do you feel like he should have even gave it back or give you the money?
All right, so you feel like this when you first do your record deal.
Mm-hmm.
When you first do a deal, they say they're gonna give you X amount of dollars for your publishing for a publishing deal. So when you say okay, you don't have to say okay, but the trick part of it is they're offering you something, money for something that nobody knows the value of it right now. So you're offering me money for something we ain't never even sold yet. So you already know what the potential may be. So you're taking advantage of me. Let's not do a publishing deal until the album come out or something like that. And then when we see what the publishing check look like, then let's do a publishing deal.
Mm.
Let's not do one right now. Let's not do it so early. Right now is not the time. Let's just get the album out. See what the publishing do. They'll give you a deal before you do the album. If you don't do the deal, then you won't do the album.
So when you say publishing deal, it's when they offer you like a lump sum of money, you know what I'm saying, 50, 100K for your publishing or a portion of your publishing. And you as a
Right,
new
right.
artist, you hyped about this big ass chunk of money you about to get, and you ain't even thinking about years down
Now
the
the
line.
money, like I always tell people, bro, I'd be like, you can't be a dude who's sitting your number one rap song is about how you rob people, and then you got to go to a record label to get a deal. So it's like, if you rob people, then why would you be trying to go to this dude to get his money? If you got your own money, you don't need their money. So when you start looking at the things, you be like, yo, it's a lot of people who just they entertainers and they fit a character or a role.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're not really who you sometimes people become who they think they are, and that's the dangerous part about things. People who think they what they think they are, opposed to what people look at you as or how the world sees you.
Mm.
So I want to make sure I don't get too far off of your question. Can we go back to that question one more time, because I want to make sure I address that correctly.
I asked about the publishing deal when you a new artist and they offer you a big lump sum of money for your publishing. It's like a trick kinda. They know how much this publishing can potentially be worth, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
years down the line. And you as a new artist, you're not thinking about that. You like, give me that money right now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because why would I turn that money down? Because who knows what this? I don't even. Because I'm an artist too. I make music too, and I still don't really fully understand like what publishing is. I guess that's a question
Man,
I can ask you. Like, what exactly is an artist publishing?
a publishing is okay. Let's say if I'm on TV and I get 1 million views,
Right.
and every time I walk out my house, people be like, "I just saw you on TV. I just saw you on TV." Now I got 1 million views, but when I go out into the world, I don't have $1 to show for it.
Mm.
So you'd be like, if people see me 1 million times, do you know how dangerous it is for me to put myself around people who see me 1 million times? That means there's at least 10 of them are saying that they don't like you. And they'll do anything to you just to make themselves relevant. So now just because I got 1 million views, I got 10 dangers and worries to worry about now. So the views don't add up to the danger it comes with the views. So it's almost like being number one on the radio and don't have $10. It's like, what's the point in being number one and not having everything that comes along with it?
I feel like a
That
lot of
makes it hard.
artists putting up that front though. I mean, that's the whole. I feel like that's a staple in the industry to kind of fake it when you ain't really making it. Long as you look
Right? But
good.
when I was an artist, and let's say I had a budget of $350,000 to do an album, and then you got a producer like Pharrell who says I produce his single, and he was wanting 125,000, 200,000 for a song.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be like, if I do one song with Pharrell, he gonna eat half of my budget,
Mm.
and then now I'm only gonna have a half a budget left, but Pharrell gets his money up front. Soon as he comes in to do the song, they be like, "Oh, he the producer. Give him his money." But you the artist, so it takes a combination of things to make this song a hit. The artist and the producer.
Right.
But they'll give the producer some upfront money, 100,000, but they won't give the artist nothing because it's designed to make the artist humble itself.
Mm.
So it's a way to keep the artist under control. How do you control an artist? You know, and they say, okay, as long as you don't have the money to go along with the way that you think, that's gonna keep you humble.
Okay,
It's
but
the way that they've been talking about it. Uh-huh.
yeah, I understand that completely. But when I ask like what is publishing, it's like where's the money come from in publishing? It come from radio, like you mentioned it come from like CD sales and stuff like that, but it come from like radio play, which is not really a factor anymore because who listening to the
Right?
radio like that? And then it come from maybe movies and like film.
Movies, you get publishing. I It was a company a long time ago in Atlanta. It was L.A. Reid's company, and it was called Hitco.
Mm-hmm.
But L.A. Reid also had LaFace, and then he went on to do Def Jam. But L.A. Reid had a production company. So in order to do a song with Beyonce, even if the song was hot, and Beyonce was signed to his production company too. So in order to do a song with Beyonce, you would have to be on L.A. Reid's production company because the L.A. Reid would give the producer a production advance, a deal,
Mm-hmm.
and the producer might get $1 million. Okay,
Yeah.
now that he gave you $1 million, you got to give him maybe 5 songs a year, and you might have to work with X amount of artists a year because he's gonna figure out how to get his money back off of you now. So now that you're signed to my production deal, my production company, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna allow you the opportunity to do the Beyonce song, but I already own half of your production. We have a deal, so whenever she wins, I win with you.
Okay. Okay.
Nobody's ever gonna win without me,
Okay.
right? That's a production.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have your production, you're on your publishing. You say, okay, for every time that is played on the radio or seen on TV, or any time it's heard or seen, that's another publishing. Anytime it's sold, it's another publisher. So if they take um, um, Bad Boy for Life and they put it on the Super Bowl at halftime, it's going to be some money generated. But usually, if you don't have that production, or if the song is not in the hands of someone who's going to directly make money off of it, then they'll suggest another song. Like
Okay.
nobody, if we're not making money off of this, if we don't own it, then we don't want to use it. You know,
Right.
like it's like my grandmother, right? One of my grandmothers was the first black lady to have a record label in New York, and she had 26 R&B acts on the label,
Zell
and they
Sanders
were
is
signed
her name,
to Chess
right?
Records. Say it again.
Zell Sanders is who you talking
Yeah,
about?
Zell Sanders. Zell
Okay.
Sanders.
Okay, keep going.
Zell Sanders. And so if you ask me like about the production, we've been in production since the 50s. Excuse me, I've been through 3 decades of production. I mean,
Mm.
3 decades
Publishing.
of publishing. Yes, starting from the 50s through the 70s into current. 3 different levels of it, right? So if you ask me how the publishing is working for what she had going on, James Brown did a movie about the James Brown movie, and then they picked up one song from the catalog because Resnick Records owns all of the publishing now. They bought the publishing away. Every publishing buyer is buying our publishing. So then they have a catalog, and then they shop this catalog to movies and things like. They might be doing a movie that it's about the '80s, and then they might want Brucey B on it,
Mm-hmm.
or they got a Brucey B record, something. So then that's when they go in and then they get that song and then they pull it out. But that money that you make off it ain't ready. It ain't get ready to change your life like that.
Even back
Not
then?
unless I mean, if the song, like if you was using, Puff used, who's that he Sting. He used every breath you take, every step, every move.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
used that, and then they say that he has to give Sting like $5,000 a day for the rest of his life for using that song,
Right.
which I can almost believe because he's been sued for using the song without permission. So it's different than striking a deal with Sting. It's like you using my song and didn't have permission. So you've been sued.
Mm.
So I believe he was sued for more than what the publishing was worth.
Okay, so Diddy used the song and didn't ask Sting, so Sting sued him. But I think it came out that they was just kind of trolling people about the amount that he had to pay. Like they was lying about that. He said it on the Breakfast Club, I think.
No matter what it is, then if they lied about that, then we could also say we lying about they was trying to give him a 9-figure deal. Since if we gonna take what we hear sometime as lies, everything is a lie now. You
Right,
feel me?
right. I feel
So
you.
all right. So we ain't gonna keep playing with the people. If he gave him 5,000, whatever it may be, but we know he had to pay him for that song, right?
Right, definitely, definitely. So that's a part of
So it's like,
publishing too. When Diddy used to do what he was famous for back in the day, which is take older songs and make them new, use samples and stuff. That gets publishing money too.
yeah, he remixed. But when, let's say when we did the Godzilla Come With Me song,
Hmm.
Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin, chill out. Led Zeppelin still got maybe 50%, 30% of the publishing without doing anything. And then you got Mario Winans who might have did the overdubs on it, which means he played drums and played some instruments. He
Hmm.
might get 20%. Then you got the writer side. I wrote the song. So I'm gonna write it since I wrote it. I'm gonna get a 50% because nobody helped me write that. But then he'll do a deal with me and say, okay, we'll split it like this. But then you didn't help me write it.
Right.
You wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym.
So
See,
what?
I know how to say some of them new words too.
Yeah, yeah. So what did Diddy really do in the studio? He was the executive producer, right? But he didn't write the rhymes. I assume he didn't make the beats. maybe
Nah,
he like put something like arranged stuff or what?
nah. He just sit there and say, "I like that. I like that. I like that.
He was
I
sitting
like
in
that. I
there
like."
like, yeah, yeah, take that,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Take that. Would have take the original. Take that came from when he was in the studio, and I remember somebody asking. They said he said I like that. He says they said so what you gonna do to get it? He said I'm gonna take that.
Oh,
Since everybody lying on the internet, I might as well throw in one too. But yeah, yeah, he not turned down a 9-figure deal. Okay,
mm,
if people believe in that, even if you believe, listen to here, bro. They say he the 16th most richest black person in the world or the United States or something.
something like
So
that.
if that's the case, then why would you even say that? How could you say that they don't share such and such and whatever part of business with the minorities?
I don't know what he was trying to do. I think they
I don't know.
eventually kicked him out of like he lost Ciroc altogether, didn't he? Didn't they like kick him out of the brand altogether because he was trying to finagle some shit?
They say he was trying to make deals like if they didn't do certain things with him that he would threaten them with like lawsuits and stuff like that, discrimination and all of that. But
Mm,
I really, if it was a way for me to ever file a lawsuit against him for discrimination and they honor it, like there's no way to take a person to court who shit on an artist. Like it's an artist, right? That was signed to Bad Boy. Her name was Tammy, right?
yeah.
She come to the studio every day. Get in. She come to the studio every day, and she like her mother used to watch her son while she come to the studio, and she would be in there working on her album, working on music. She was signed to Bad Boy, but and I saw her every day come to this studio and figure out things she had to do with her child. And I noticed how her family was supporting her, and then I just seen him shit on her whole career,
No.
and you don't yo for real. It's a lot of them. I know one dude, one kid. His name is Jerome, little Jerome, Childers. He's a gospel dude, and he had a real crazy voice. He was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
like 11 years old, 10 or something like that. And then they took one of his songs that he knew how to sing real good in church, and they changed it to a song about him kissing a girl for the first time. He didn't
Oh,
really feel it. He didn't really feel that. He too young to understand what it's like kissing a girl and y'all telling them to say it like this. And they drove that little kid crazy. And that little kid did the Martin Lawrence, took the clothes off and ran out into the street and all of this, which they say artists do when they
what?
go through that one thing. Yeah, man, that's how artists go crazy. The first thing they do is take their clothes off and run out into the street.
I ain't never. I heard about the whole Martin thing and the whole industry thing. Kind of made him
He
go
ain't the first
crazy.
one that did that. He ain't the first one that did that. A lot of them do it. And then he went out to the street speaking in tongues. So you'd be like, not only is he out in the street naked, he's speaking in tongues.
What?
I mean,
What?
something else got a hold of this man, man. It's like you kind of like it's almost like making you sing a song about kissing a girl. You never kissed a girl before. You'd be like, how can I really sing this song and really love it?
Right.
Artists, don't we can't do it just to be famous. Some people do it to be famous. Some people do it to be heard.
Yeah, I think most people these days do it to be famous. But that kind of leads me to another question that I wanted to ask. And I think a lot of people kind of want to know this because it's always something coming out about Diddy and one of his like a deal that he did with one of his artists in the past, and it seemed like every artist, at least every major artist that was under him, got a gripe with him. Like he wronged them in some kind of way. Like, what's up with that?
Right? Cause see, Diddy can get a catalog deal. I can get a single publishing deal. Now that he gave me the publishing back, I can go get a publishing deal on my own. What part of the publishing he had. But when he was doing the publishing deal and he's saying, okay, I'm getting it against a catalog, he can go get $100 million against publishing on his catalog, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can only get what I can get for what my part of the publishing is. So he already got a publishing deal for his catalog, and he probably just finished paying it off and coming to a zero balance. And then now, the whole time when you saw Diddy and Diddy got this and Diddy got this, Diddy got a publishing deal that belonged to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing else that he was doing to make money. How else was he making money? He was just making deals off of, oh, I own this, and then people was giving him a deal against what he owned. He got rid of Sean John. He had the liquor thing going, but then the publishing deal. He had a deal against. He couldn't give Mace back his publishing until the deal expired. He couldn't give the Locks back their publishing until the deal expired. He
Oh,
couldn't give nobody back their publishing until the deal expired. He did a deal himself.
so you think the
So
deal that he had finally expired, and he couldn't resell it for what he wanted, so he was just
they
like, "Fuck
said
it."
that they was offering him a 9-figure deal for the publishing.
Yeah, but we don't
So
believe
that
that.
means he was definitely trying to get a new money for it, but they did not give him a nine. He probably was requesting a 9-figure deal for his publishing. You know what I'm saying? But just look at things like how when Dr. Dre wants to sell his publishing catalog for 250 million,
Mm-hmm.
but how much money did he make off the Dr. Dre Beats headphones?
Oh, he was a part of that deal.
Yeah, he's the head, the Dre Beats, the headphones he came out with.
You talking about Dre, not Diddy?
Dr.
Oh
Dre,
yeah, yeah. Drake became
talking
a
about Dr.
billionaire off of
Dre.
that. Yeah, he became a
All
billionaire
right.
off of that.
Now he wants to sell his publishing for 250 million, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you be like, how in the world could you be a billionaire and wanting to sell your publishing for 250 million? That means that the publishing obviously ain't worth it. Let me get rid of this right now and liquidate this before it's worth nothing.
Oh, right. Because if things
Well,
keep
how would
going to streaming, well, the industry is pretty much all streaming now. Ain't nobody really buying physical stuff, and nobody listen to the radio. So you're right. In a few years, if some big corporation ain't coming through scooping up publishing, then it's really gonna be trash.
it's gonna be trash. But then when they scoop it up, they're gonna try to find placements.
Mm-hmm.
How like when I when you on publishing, you say, okay, I'm gonna give you a publishing deal, and then I'm gonna make you big, and then I'm gonna make my money back off of you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm a Mike Jones you or Mike Will or Drummer Boy you or uh uh what's my man's name? Man, it's so much, man. It's so many of them. You got it's so many hit producers, especially here in Atlanta. They give them a deal, and then give them a deal, and then now they say, I need you to produce these songs. So I'm gonna give you a deal, then I'm gonna work you and make sure I get my money back. Ain't no producer ready to come up out the blue and be like, hey, I got a nice hit. They're gonna be like, before you can get that nice hit place, you're gonna have to sign this contract right here. You
Right.
don't sign this contract, I can't deal with that song. Why? Because I got other producers that I gotta deal with, that I gotta make money off of them. Why would I give you that song and I could give them that song and make my money back?
Man, you making it sound like the music industry is just like this perpetual turning wheel of like people kind of
Yeah.
tricking people into deals in hopes to make make money off of them in the future if something pop. But I guess you kind of gotta be like that because say you invest in somebody, because when you was coming up, it was no like 360 deals, right? Now they got 360 deals to where they can sign an artist to, and then they getting money off of everything under
Yo,
their intellectual property and stuff like that, right?
when we was coming up, and the sad thing to say about record contracts, from the time my mom and them was doing them with Morris Levy,
Mm-hmm.
with Morris Levy, let me give you another one. This is a good one.
Okay.
Morris Levy, well, you had an artist, John Lennon. Morris Levy was the puff daddy of John Lennon.
Okay.
So John Lennon had sued Morris Levy because Morris Levy was bootlegging his album and selling it
Mm.
on the streets. But people don't realize that back in the days when like, let's say when the Italians was running a lot of drugs in New York, and they was coming from Italy with the heroin, and New York was popping with the heroin was being sold all over New York. So they said, okay, in order for us to pay you back, we're gonna need you to have a record store. So when you was a drug dealer back in the days, you had to have something like a record shop or something like that. Then the Italians would give you the John Lennon bootleg CDs, and then you put them inside the bin on the curb out inside the street, and then people come by and keep buying the cassette, buying the cassette. You don't have to worry about giving them back the money. You just pocket it,
Mm.
right? So John Lennon sued Morris Levy, who was this one Jew. He was a Jew. Everybody need to do their research on Morris Levy and
Morris
understand
Levy.
Morris Levy. You understand? And then understand the 7-year locust. That's another thing we're going to understand. Then we're going to understand Jews. Then we're going to break down the Jewish calendar. Then we're going to break down the first fiscal day of on the pay of the year is September, not January. They always consider September as the first day, the first month of a year. They only
Mm.
have nine months on their calendar. We got 12.
I didn't know that.
Man, come on, there's so much going on, man, in this world. That's the reason that's just like when you look at the word September in October. Sept is short for 7 and October is short for 8. But
Right.
Sept is the ninth month and October is the 10th month.
What
Right. So
what
that just shows
significance does
how the Sept gonna be short for the ninth month. And how the hell Oct is gonna be short for the 10th month. So that just shows that
that's
the way that
true.
things go has been tampered with, right?
Right.
So then you got to look at Yom Kippur. You got to look at September 23rd. You got to look at the whole month of September. And we are in September right now. Today is what, September 11th?
I think it's the 12th. Yeah, yesterday was the 11th.
The 11th. Yesterday was the day the World Trade Centers got hit.
Right.
Tupac died in September, right?
Did he? Let me see.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's Google. Let me give you some good stuff,
Okay.
so we can show them some facts. We ain't just gonna be talking. We're gonna talk about facts and things people really need to know. Then we can get into publishing. Then we can understand who own publishing. They own TV. They own Mercedes Benz. They own anything that got that emblem with that rock sign, like any of those emblems in there. That's them.
Okay.
The Walmarts. When did Princess Diana die? Then
Was it
after that, look at when Tupac died. And then after that, look at when the Hurricane Katrina came. And then look at the World Trade Center. And then look at all of the tragedies that happened in September.
you
That's the
make
beginning of the fiscal year.
you making September sound? He died. Yeah, he died September 7th, 1996.
Yeah, but if you just go on into September and then you start seeing what's going on with September and entertainment. So what happens is usually you have an eclipse. Sometimes you can have eclipse where they say this you're gonna have in this year you might see 5 moons, and this is gonna be rare. It may only happen in 100 years,
Mm-hmm.
and this moon is gonna be red, and it'd be a blood moon. And when you see a red moon, that means that the powers is upset with how we treating each other, and he don't see us really loving each other. It's too many artists getting on stage, and instead of them saying thank you God, they keep thinking that they did it themselves. Sometimes we got to give God the glory. We say it's not me, it's God.
Wait a
So
minute.
when I learn
You
somebody,
saying God turning the moon red because he mad at the entertainment industry or the music industry?
just be mad at people, period. That's the reason why every 7 years, the 7-year locust, you have a collapse of the economy.
Mm.
It's either the economy is going to collapse or the World Trade Center is going to go down. Every 7 years, you have a tragedy. In
Okay.
September, you got to go up on it. Albums are released in September. The first albums,
So you
September.
getting into the like the spiritual side of the industry. So I'm gonna go way left real quick just to get away from the publishing for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Cause you was deep in the industry. You was running around with Diddy and all them back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too much into like the Illuminati and shit. But you got an artist right now, and you got a lot of artists right now who portraying and pushing a lot of demonic images and stuff. And most people writing it off as it's like promo. They just trolling for the look, blah blah
Oh
blah.
my
You got Sam
God.
Smith,
Yeah,
but one of the most
yeah.
prominent ones right now that's doing it real crazy is Doja Cat. You familiar with Doja Cat?
Yes, yes, yes,
You seen that demon
yes.
video she put out? And she dressed up like
I
Baphomet
didn't
and all that.
I didn't see it, but I already know what you're talking about. I know everything what you're saying right now. Cause I'm gonna give everybody some insight, bro.
Okay,
And I don't mean to talk a lot, you know what I'm saying? But when we gonna talk, I like to at least educate people with things that I know that they may not know.
go ahead.
So what we gonna talk about is when, a lot of people may not believe in God. And I'd be like, it's a lot of atheists that say they don't believe in God. And I'd be like, well, if you say you don't believe in God and you're an atheist, your belief is that you don't believe in God. So that means you do have a belief.
Mm,
So when you start breaking down everything, you'd be like, there's no way in to say that you don't believe in something. You know what I mean? Because you believe that you don't believe. That's already your belief right there. Right?
oxymoron. Yeah, yeah.
So back in these days, when you had God that sat on the throne, you always had two angels that sat next to him. It was Michael and it was Lucifer.
Right.
Lucifer was the choir director. He was the one that controlled all of the choirs. And Michael was a different kind of angel. But Lucifer used to be the choir of the muses, the nine muses that make music.
Mm-hmm.
So people got to go and Google the muses and the nine muses of music. And then now it breaks down into three choirs. So when you break it down into three choirs, that Satan was over that. And let's say if you was writing a song and the song needed to be about not having money or going through a struggle or going through something personal in your life, there's always a muse that you can invite into your creative writing,
Oh
and they
shit.
can help you, give you insight on what's going on in that. So it's almost like the thing that helps you be creative. So if
Okay.
you want to write a song about building something, there's a muse that you can invite into your creative writing, and they can help give you insight on how to word things and what to say. All right. Satan was over all of that. And Satan thought he thought that
But
he can make the
this
city
was
like
before he was Satan. This is when he was Lucifer and still in heaven, right?
this is Lucifer. This is Lucifer. But he thought, the reason why Lucifer and God fell out, people got to understand that one is because it's almost like the pastor in the church and the choir director. Now let's take the choir director in the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually they're a little gay, right? Nothing's wrong with that. You ever
Yeah.
seen go to the church and you look at the choir director, the
Oh
dude who
yeah.
teach the choir?
Almost every
He's
time.
he's flaming. He's
Yeah.
flaming, right?
Flamboyant.
Now he sits and gives the congregation advice.
Mm-hmm.
And the pastor gets mad at him for saying, look, do not give advice to the congregation because you are not walking your life right. And I don't want you to give advice to anyone. So the choir director and the pastor always fall out.
Right.
God and the director always fell out too, the same way we look at it in church. It's the same thing, just remixed.
Okay.
So now you can see where Satan fell out, why God fell out with Satan. So Satan was the shining star. He was the brightest star.
Mm-hmm.
That means he was a superstar. And if
Right.
he was a superstar, that means he was an entertainer. People looked up. When you a superstar, you shine, you illuminate. And when you shine your light, you shine so bright that the world can see, like most deaf sing about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you a superstar, your job is to illuminate and make things visible and possible for those who are living in the dark. That's the whole reason why you a superstar, right? And as
Right.
long as you do that, you doing what God created. But some people, they feel like, oh, I'm shining. They shining, and then they turn it into them. And they say, oh, I'm shining. I'm this. So when God gets mad at that, that's when usually God start taking things out of your life like that you love. He'd be like, yo, you may be famous, but you're going to give me this. Give me your mama. You
Mm.
might be famous, but you're gonna give me this. Give me your girl. You might be famous, but what you're not gonna ever be able to do is fornicate. Look at the movie City of God. when he traded in, when he said he wanted to be tough in the street. For those, go back and watch this movie if you don't know,
I haven't
Brazilian
seen
gangster
it, but
movie.
it sounds.
When he, have you ever seen City of God?
I ain't seen it, but I should watch it. The
I'm
way
gonna,
you're making it
I'm
sound.
gonna need you to watch that. Because in this movie, he sold his soul to be tough and be a gangster.
Mm-hmm.
And when he sold his soul to be tough and be a gangster, he couldn't get no girls no more. No girls liked him no more, no matter how much money he had. No girls was messing with him,
So it was a trade off.
right? So sometimes it was a trade off.
Mm.
People do a trade off sometimes. They be like, look, for this, I'll give this. Like whenever you play with God, if you ask me, it's like concentration. You ask God for $1,000,000, he be like, "How you gonna ask me for $1,000,000 and your brother's on drugs? You
Mm.
gonna give him $5,000? He gonna kill himself. So you just really asking me to kill your brother?"
Ah.
God be like, "I'm not giving you that $1,000,000, man, till you get your life in order.
Gotta be careful what you ask for.
Got to be careful what you ask for."
But I
So
always
you
thought
know, it's
I always thought when like an artist, I ain't never been up in them upper echelons in the industry and stuff. But the rumors are like if a artist wants like superstardom and they want to quote unquote like sell their soul or whatever, and they have to maybe sacrifice somebody like their mama, their brother, somebody like that. But I always thought that was kind of like loose, like Satan doing, and not God. You know what I'm saying? But you kind of saying that God is kind of involved in this.
God, but but when you think about people, either you can be in control by the good of you, or you can be in control by the bad of you.
Mm.
So like when we look at things, I'm first, my religion is omniism. So I believe that all religions have a little bit of truth. I'm real different on my beliefs.
Omniism. I
Um,
never heard of that one before.
yeah, got to read that one too. Omnis. I'm an omnis.
Okay.
So that means I'm not biased to however anybody think. You could be a Buddhist, you could be whatever you want to. If you tell me something that don't sound real, you could be a Muslim. If you tell me something that don't sound real, I'm not buying it.
Right.
I'm an omnist. I don't believe in none of that, right?
Okay.
And I stand by it firmly. If I don't feel it in my heart, it's not part of me, right?
Okay.
So we getting back and we say, okay, let's go back a little bit. What was that thing? Because that thought, that rant that I just said was just so fly. I kind of threw me off. Where was we going?
We
We
was
was going
talking
to answer you ask a question.
because you said that when you ask God for $1,000,000, he might take your brother from you because your brother a drug dealer, and you might give him 5,000 and stuff. Like you
Or
asked,
a drug addict.
yeah,
A
yeah, a
drug
drug
addict.
addict. You know what I'm saying? And then I asked you, I always thought this was like Lucifer's doing, like when you sell your soul for like fame and fortune and stuff, not God.
The one thing about God, whatever you ask for, it's going to happen. So some people who don't ask for nothing, they can't be surprised because God is that good. He going to give you nothing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know how to use their mind to want the right things and want it the right way, why do you want $1,000,000? I want $1,000,000 to do this and change the world like this. You
Right.
ask the average person, why do you want $1,000,000? They're gonna say, because I want to go get this car, or I want to go get this. And you'd be like, yo, if you need $1,000,000 to buy things, then you don't need $1,000,000. But if you need $1,000,000 to maneuver and change the world, then you might can deserve that. It
Mm-hmm.
just depends on what you want it for. Everybody want it for a different reason. And
But
it's hard. Everybody want it.
a lot of people
It's not
who
just
don't necessarily got like good intentions for millions get it though, especially in the music industry, because I
yeah.
struggle I
They
struggle these days with like making music because I'm 37, you know what I'm saying? And when you get a little older, you start thinking about the music that you make and the things you say in it, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if you got any kind of like conscience and you like what you perpetuating and putting into the world at a certain point. But
Yep.
I feel like a lot of artists, and the biggest artists in the game, if you ain't talking about like a J. Cole or a Kendrick or something, and even they like, you know what I'm saying, go to the
They
dark
do.
side sometimes. But most artists, to be famous as an artist, you have to like delve in all the debauchery in the world and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You have to push the ratchetness. Cardi B just came out with a song for her first line talking about eating ass and shit, and fucking naked bitches, strippers, getting money, drug dealing, all the worst things in society are perpetuated in rap. And that seemed like, the devil's playground to me.
Right? Because the devil's in the music, and what we got to know is this: that music is the next most powerful energy next to love.
Mm,
So music is just as powerful as love. So if you use love, can be, you know how many people die over every day over love.
a lot.
Now just imagine how many people die every day over music. Music kills more people than car accidents.
How so?
Music kills because you got to think of what the mentality with what music does. Like when someone says on the radio, fuck the police, just imagine how many people walk out with that energy and say, fuck the police.
Mm,
So then now the police got to deal with it because the music said, fuck the police. So you be like, yo, it's like if Michael Jackson said, if you love me and you love my music, go to a 4-story building and jump. You know how many people would jump?
back then, it would have been a lot of people. Would have been motherfuckers raining down off buildings and stuff.
Right. I myself might have made it to the bridge and was like, I'm going to do it. And then when I got there, I said, I thought about it. Fuck Michael Jackson. Let me tell you a joke. Ready for a joke? Can
Go
I tell you
ahead.
a joke?
Go ahead.
All right. There's a monkey in the zoo, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he in the cage. And person walked past the cage. The monkey smacked the shit out the person, right?
Right.
So then the person got mad. So he went and got a knife. And because every time you do something, the monkey do something. You do this, the monkey do it. You do that, the monkey do it. So he say he pulled out the knife and he put a hot dog in his pants and pulled out the hot dog and cut the monkey, cut the hot dog, and then he gave the knife to the monkey. Monkey said, "Fuck you."
It
He was
was
doing everything that you do, repeating everything that you do until he said, cut your winky off. Monkey didn't do it.
yeah. He wasn't having that. Monkeys like to smash.
Yeah, smack the shit out you. Yes. It's publishing, and it gets deeper. I know that this is a big conversation, but it's deeper than publishing. It's deep. It's like knowing. I want to think of what this. I can't think of this name, man, and it always baffles me. It's the liquor company that owns the record labels.
It's a liquor company that owns the
It's a
record
liquor
labels.
company. Yeah, it's a liquor company that owns the record labels.
Let me see if Google know.
In this same liquor company, Google it. What Google who or which liquor company owns Random House? I think it's Seagram's Gin. No, not Seagram's. It might be Seagram's, but see which one, which liquor company owns Universal Records. Let me know when you got that.
Okay. You said Random House the first time. But you said Universal
You
Records.
could do Random House because Random House is owned by Universal too. That's the book publishing. Now we're gonna talk about all the publishing on liquor. We're gonna talk about music, and we're gonna talk about books. Everything that you can consume, information, that that route is owned.
I think Seagram's. Seagram's.
Seagram's Gin. I
Yeah.
think it's Seagram's. Seagram's Gin, that little liquor, that spirit, they own Random House, they own Universal Records, Universal Theater, all of that. So
Damn.
you're going and now when you want to know what that system is, you see it. They'll have Mercedes Benz, they have Chrysler, they have all of that. You'd be like, they own all of that, all of it.
Damn.
Come on, that's what you up against, man. You up against Seagram's Gin. You want to talk about Puff? You better go talk to Seagram's.
But it seemed like, yeah, they own all that. Oh, did his phone die?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You hear
All right,
me?
my bad, brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
no problem.
that's when something that a lot of people don't know, like who owns what. So publishing, when we want to get into that publishing, it's crazy because you want to think who owned the publishing, who's making the money off of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that one right there go.
So it goes all the way back to Seagram's, and they the one.
Siegel's Gin, they be owning a lot of stuff. Hold on one second, brother.
Okay.
Hold on, man. Yeah, but that's publishing. And they own a lot of things. So they own television. You know, the Jews. You got them that control things. You got the Italians that control. It's like news, media. You know, BET, anything television wise is owned by usually those conglomerates.
Yeah, I know Kanye was out, when he was making his rounds, he kept like, calling out the Jews for everything they own in regards to the music industry and how they was controlling everything and stuff. But they shut him down real quick.
Yeah, because I thought Kanye felt like he was more a competitor. And it's like, don't get up in there and deal with them and then feel like the same thing with Puff, they taking advantage of us. You be like, come on, Kanye, if they gave you an opportunity, you making money, just take yours and go do it. That's when people need to take the money that they made and go make more out of it.
Hmm.
Like, that's when you say, ain't no sense in you complaining. You got $1 billion. Go do $1 billion. Even Oprah Winfrey, she went and opened up her own television channel.
Right. The old OWN network or something like that. I don't know who watched that shit,
Then,
but
if I ain't mistaken, there was a point when she came back and said that they not giving her TV station, whatever that she had going on, the same kind of platform that they're giving CBS and other things. So, that's when we go to say, hey, you know what? $1 billion in this world is almost like everybody used to want to be a millionaire when we was young.
right.
Now, to be a millionaire, I'm gonna tell y'all something that this is good news for everybody, and I hope everybody gets this and receives it well. It's a proven fact that whoever is born, as long as you work from the time you was born until the time you die, you should at least make $2 million. So, you're gonna be a millionaire. So don't worry about being a millionaire. But now
You mean like
in this
over
world, you need
time?
to worry about being a billionaire, huh?
You mean like over time? You like like
Yeah,
two
over time.
million is gonna pass through your hands?
You're going to get a million. $1 million is going to pass through your hands. It's a fact,
Mm.
right? As long as you live and you stay active and functioning and things like that, functional,
Hmm.
then you're going to be a millionaire. So now that you know everybody's going to be a millionaire, now everybody wants to be a billionaire.
Right.
Before everybody just wanted to be a millionaire. Now people want to be billionaires. And
Right.
there's only 16. They said it's only 16 of them, right?
16, maybe 16 black millionaires, but
Billionaires.
billionaires. Let me see how many.
Like they not giving out billionaire. They're not giving out the whole billionaire title to everybody.
I'm gonna see how many billionaires are there. I think it's way more than 16 though.
Let's see. I know the richest black man ain't an entertainer. The most richest black man, he ain't an entertainer.
In the whole world, it's almost 3,000 billionaires. Let's see how many black billionaires. How many? You think Diddy really a billionaire, or he just kind of worth that?
Now that he lost that Ciroc deal, he ain't a billionaire. He probably got the same amount of money as Missy Elliott now.
Okay, yeah, it's four. It's only 14.
Huh?
It's only 14 black billionaires in the world.
And one of them is complaining, and they call me complaining. One of them is complaining and saying that they not treating black businesses fair.
Yeah, like how can you complain about anything money wise when you worth billions, especially to the people who kind of made you a billionaire? But that's big money
And you
talk, man. I
complaining
don't.
that nah, he complaining and saying that they not putting his liquor, making this available. They're only making his liquor available in the communities that we live in. But first of all, you're selling alcohol, bro. So
Mm,
I don't. Let's get it right. That's something I wouldn't. I'd be like, damn, I'm selling. You know how many people die? On a car accident, off of Ciroc,
right,
off of liquor.
right.
You know how many domestic violence murders been off of somebody off of Ciroc.
Right.
That's why they call liquor. They call it spirits because the more you drink, the more the true you comes out.
Mm.
So now you're enabling people to touch their spirits to be who they think they are, and most of them should not even be or feel the way they feel. You know what I'm saying? You ever had people you be like, bro, you're from. I need to holler at you from the neck down, not from the neck up. I don't need you to think about nothing from here on here. I need everything from here down. That means I just need hands and feet. I don't need you to think.
Mm.
Sometimes you got to tell people that neck down, man.
Mm.
Neck down. That means be quiet.
Yeah.
Don't think. You understand?
I
You got to
understand.
think. Man, it's deep, man. We going. I hope this is interesting to the people because this is how I like to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I like to talk about the things we thinking about and the things we feel.
right.
When you do the things you think about, that's the things you want to do. When the things you do that's in your heart, it's almost like everybody always take the short route to get to the easy route. The easy route is using your mind. The hardest route is using your heart.
Mm.
You don't get the gratification, the results that you get. Fast results come up here. Slow results come down here. Everybody want it from up here. And if God ever had to live in man, would he live in your mind or would he live in your heart?
I would assume your heart. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right. So you know how many people live off of this by their mind? I think this. I think you'd be like, well, why the hell is you think you're gonna come out into the world telling everybody what you think? Nobody care what you think. You know what I mean? And that's the average person. That's entertainment. They just rapping about what they think.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, lick booty and kiss feet and all of this. Whatever it may be. You be like, bro, do you really, or sis, do you really want your kids knowing that you became famous for a song about licking butt?
They don't care. They like they don't.
Yep.
They live without consequences. You got Sukiana out here talking about she eating butt and getting her coochie scratched, and every female rapper coming out talking about sex, 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 sex. They got
They don't
kids.
even like men.
A lot of the
The average
times,
rapper, female rapper, don't even like men.
a
So
lot
you'd
of the
be like, what
times.
kind of image is that for you to be famous, have this money, and don't like men? That we don't. The last thing we need is more people portraying the image that we don't like people. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
I don't. Everybody have their own right to do what they want. But me, I think if we able to put something out there, let's put out something there that kind of help bring more people together. Let's put out a song that helps people unite and think a little bit. Let's not create songs that create separatism.
Right.
Everything that we create is dividing us.
Yeah, especially in America, man. It's all about division and like groupthink and tribalism in so many shapes and forms in America that it's crazy for somebody like me who's from America but live in Germany, looking from the outside, looking in and stuff. Cause like America kind of like the laughing stock of the world a little bit because all the media, everything is so commercialized and everything is on display in America. And it's not like that in Germany. Like when like you don't hear about crazy stuff happening in Germany because they don't like to broadcast their dirty laundry and shit. But in America, it's all out for the whole world to see. So everybody just think people in America just insane. You know what I'm saying? It'd be embarrassing to be
Got
from
it
there sometimes, if I'm honest.
right, but you got to think of what America was made of and why America was made. America was like the Babylon back in the days. So
Mm,
America is a place where nobody really is from America. Everybody came from places like Germany, Russia, Sweden, Africa to live and to live in America.
mm-hmm.
So America is like Babylon, and in the Bible, which is, again, I'm not a religious guy. I just believe in a lot of things that I believe in, but Babylon was a city that was made to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you had, you go into Israelites and you go into Canaanites. And I'm going to break it down for everybody there.
Okay.
Israelites are people who say, I is the light. Canaanites are people who say, can I? Can I? Can I do this? Can I borrow this? Canaanite.
Okay.
Israelite is everything that I need is within me. I don't have to reach outside of me to
Mm.
find happiness.
Okay.
Canaanites have to find happiness in other things, happiness in bringing people down. That's what the war that happened in Babylon was between people who live good and have good hearts and people who didn't have good hearts. So you had people who felt like certain things morally wasn't correct and they'll do it, and then some people respect morals. Like you can go do anything you want to do every day, but you don't have in your mind, you don't have like, you know what, I'm going to go out and go to Home Depot and steal.
Right.
Some people wake up every morning, the only thing they think about is going to Home Depot and stealing.
Mm.
That's just what they think. Some people feel like I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna go figure out a way to do it a good way.
Right.
It's different people, it's different energies, it's different characters, you know. And no matter what, when you're looking at somebody, they can be either or. So you never know who you're dealing with because everybody looks the same.
Right.
Right. So when we going back to this publishing and we going back to the ownership of a culture, and we was talking the other day about culture vultures, people who sit back like vultures and pry and to make money and take advantage of a culture.
Right. You think you can be
It's a whole
you
nother kind of individual.
you think you can, because usually when they say culture vulture, they talking about, a white guy that's coming in and doing something with music that not necessarily his culture, so to speak. But you think you can be black and be a culture vulture?
A culture vulture. First, when we think of white and black, I think that we need to get away from thinking we should get away from thinking of white and black as like a skin thing or a race thing. White and black. When we think of white, white is a person to me that's not going to take shortcuts, that's going to still stay strong in his faith, believe in God, put God first.
Mm.
That doesn't matter if your skin is white or brown, because there's not a such thing as white and black anyhow. It's called pink and brown. White people are not white, they pink,
They pink, okay.
right?
Yeah,
White is white,
yeah, they are
right?
kind of pink and
Black, right?
pinkish.
Black people, we ain't black, we brown.
Right. I always
So
said that.
that don't make us white and black. But if you open up a book and you read the pages, the words is written in white and black, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you play a piano, you look at the keys are white and black, right?
Right.
All right, we not white and black. So when we think of
Well, you got
right and wrong,
your super
right?
dark niggas.
Hmm?
I say you got your super dark black
Say
people though.
again. Yeah, you got those that we call them purple,
Yeah, I was just
but
finna
they
say.
still good people, right?
Yeah, yeah,
They purple.
yeah. But go
You know what I'm
ahead. Go.
saying? But when we think about white and black, we say, when you think of somebody who has a dark spirit, and the only thing they can think of is to take in order, or take that in order to have something.
Mm.
Your spirit is dark. That's the reason why your label should be called Bad Boy, because you think
Oh, it
your whole
all comes
everything
back
about it, the
around to
energy
Diddy.
that's coming from over here is bad, right?
Mm.
Take that, take that. So then you have a dark spirit. When you have a light spirit, that means you're more of an angelic type of person, more of a humanitarian, more a person who understands and helps people. And money doesn't really make you. You don't really, I'm happy just being me, and happy seeing you smile is what makes me happy. Those are different people. So
Mm.
you have white people in spirit, and you have dark people in spirit. You can be white and be black, and you can be black and be white,
Mm.
because skin color doesn't determine if you white or black.
Interesting take.
People gotta get to that. Once you start understanding that, you got more black on black crime. Okay, you know, uh, um, it's just a way to think, man. It's just how we get caught up into thinking we black. So like when you think you black, you automatically think like you were born to be this way, or it's wrong being black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or I'm black. This is a curse. When you start breaking it down on black and white, and then you got people who think I'm better than you because I'm white.
Mm.
And you be like, yo, you know what? The crazy thing is because you think you better than me because you white, your soul is actually black. And
I,
because you're black and you don't know how to love, your soul is still black. But if because you're black and then you may know how to love and you know how to treat people and you know how to walk forward and keep your chin up and poke your chest out and stand about what your people told you to stand for. Your aunt, your mother and father that died and left this earth, you still doing what they, your grandparents who struggled for it to make it happen for you, still carrying on that legacy.
right,
And you pro about it, you're proactive and you're a pro about it, and man, you have a white, you could be black and have a white spirit. Like when it shines in the daylight, it's white, right?
right.
And at nighttime it's black, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So so when you break down Illuminati and you think illuminate means to shine bright, right?
Yes, it does.
It don't have nothing to do with skin color.
Hmm. But the Illuminati is you saying Illuminati is like a shining bright light, so it's white energy.
The, Illum- the Illuminati, to me, is a conglomerate of people who have certain information that's very valuable to us as a people, but they don't share it to us, and they'll take advantage of you not knowing, and that's what makes them. Instead of being like, if you're gonna illuminate. It's like a doctor who knows how to somebody got shot and they go to the doctor and the doctor knows how to treat trauma. You know, people with gunshot wounds, and he says he doesn't want to treat you because you don't have insurance. So are you going to use what God gifted you to do to only help me if I got insurance, or are you going to just say God helped you help people, and only thing you're going to do is help everybody who comes across your table?
Well, most doctors
Some
ain't gonna
people
help you unless you got insurance.
And that's what makes them wicked people.
Mm, mm,
They
mm.
only want to help you if you got insurance. I may not have insurance. If you go to the hospital and you dying, they're gonna be like, "We ain't helping you because you ain't got insurance." To
In
me, that's wrong.
in America, they
That
will.
means right. That means that they know how to do something to help you, but refuse to do it because you don't have money.
Yeah.
That's not the reason to illuminate. That's the whole wrong reason. That
Mm.
doctor, I have something against him spiritually, and I hope that everything comes back to them. For every person that they didn't help, I hope that it comes back to them in some kind of form to where they learn from it. That's in any walk in life.
You think it's? I hate to ask this, but I kind of felt like you was referring to Diddy in a portion of that what you said. But
You could,
you think it's
you
going?
could throw them under the bus.
You think it's going to ultimately whatever he did in the dark is going to ultimately, because I feel like he's trying to clean himself up a little bit with the whole PR stunt of giving back to publishing. So
He looks nervous. He looks like he doesn't believe what he's saying. He looks like he's sweating. He looks like a liar. He don't feel those words. It's almost like somebody making him say something that he don't want to say. He don't even know how to. He don't know how to relate with those part of even understand. That understanding ain't in him
mm,
to understand even how to say it and make it make sense and make it be heartfelt. He
mm.
keep. Oh well, we're talking about a lot of companies that don't give black companies a chance. Okay, so you the 16th most richest black person in the world. Let us know about what companies or what black people you help,
I
other than you
know.
gave Jackson State $1 million. Okay, fine. What have you done to help anybody, especially those around you? I judge a man by how happy those around you are.
Right.
So if you happy and everybody around you is miserable, that means part of them being miserable is just being with you.
Mm. So what's your relationship with Diddy? What's like, are y'all on
It's
speaking terms? Have you talked to him since you came out and said what you said?
Nope. And until the day when he really, to me, I always think the only thing you got to do as a person, no matter what you do, God is a forgiving God. If you just say, I'm sorry for I have done wrong, you can be forgiven.
Mm,
But if you have too much pride to where you can't do that, then the battle ain't between me and Diddy. The battle is between Diddy and God.
mm.
So whenever that happens, he might come around and say, "Hey, you know what? I realize this is what I've been." Then that's the day that we all waiting for. Up
It's
until then, that's between him and God.
is he even religious? I feel like
Usually, people like that think that they are their God. So
I
he
would.
calls himself love. If he called himself love and he's not about love, what he's saying is he's God.
Mm. So that's where you think the whole love
God
thing
is
is
love.
coming from. Yeah, God is
God is
love.
love. Come on, man. Let's not play
Damn.
with it. He called himself love. He calling himself, he want to call himself bigger than Hova or Jay-Z. I want to be love. God is
Oh,
love. You want to be about that, man, you better be about it. I find it offensive because I'd be like, people who love don't do these kind of things.
right. And you said it earlier that it's the two most powerful things in the world is music and love. And now he
So
dropping
now you
the
got,
love album.
now, so now you know who the director of music is now, right?
Damn. Okay. So do he want to be God or do he want to be Lucifer or do he want to be both?
Anybody who think that God is Lucifer. That's how Lucifer became Lucifer.
Oh, because he thought he was
That's how he
shining
became
brighter than
Satan.
God. God damn, did
Yeah,
he?
I'm trying to tell you, man. So when you got people that think they like that, I don't even have to apologize to people. I can just ignore people, shit on people, do this, take advantage of people. You be like, damn, man, you really feel you could do people like that? And walk away in this world and still be somebody who want to talk about the ecosystem?
He done got away with it for decades though. He like he like Mayweather when it come to rolling out them allegations and rumors about him and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He know how to keep himself clean.
He only go as far as the people give him power to do. So really, we people give him the power to go that far. We as people give him the energy and the power to do it. And people could say, you know what, Mark, you wrong for speaking, and you'd be like, how can you say that? When he said he's not speaking for just himself, he's speaking for the people.
Mm,
That's what he said in his speech. I speak for the people. He is not representing the people. He's not representing me. I'm not standing under his tutelage.
right.
I don't understand him. I overstand him.
Right.
It's a
Damn.
difference. I'm a smart guy, bro. I
I
just
can see
sometimes,
that. I can
you
see
know,
that.
yeah, it's not even the music that makes me me. You know what I'm saying? It's what's in me that makes me me. It's when Puff met me. He didn't meet me. I wasn't looking for him, trying to get signed to his label, trying to do no business with him. When I met him, he wanted to do business with me.
Right.
So.
Damn,
Then we
bro.
go into this publishing. Yeah, we did. When we talking about that, we talking about the ownership. Who owns this? Like ownership of souls. When you own somebody's soul, you kind of like own their publishing.
Hmm.
That's matter of fact. There's only one way to sell your soul is by selling your talent. How else can you sell your soul? You could sell your soul by giving your morally stuff away. You can give your booty away. You sold your soul. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
sold that. So it's only a few ways a person can sell their soul.
It's all kind of rumors about selling the booty too when you talking about Diddy too, but I don't know if you want to get into all that. But
Obviously, sometimes people feel uncomfortable sharing with people because of the things that they went through in order to have. So you'd be like, if I went and had to rob a store to get $100, I wouldn't want to rob the store and come out and then you asking me for 30. I'd be like, I ain't got it.
mm-hmm.
Should I just rob the whole store for this 100?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why would I turn around and give you 30 like you drove the car? You ain't even did nothing. Matter of fact, I feel like I told you too much.
Mm.
You know,
I follow
that's how
you.
people think, man. That's
Man.
how it goes, man.
You done drop some
But yeah,
gems on them this pod, man.
man, I hope so because I be wanting to make sure it all makes sense and that people can definitely walk away from this with some information other than thinking that I got time to sit here and hate on a grown man. I don't have nothing. He ain't even it. We talking about the spirit.
Right. he just what his latest actions just made it to where you couldn't help but finally speak up on some of the
To
stuff
hear
he
him
been through.
talking about the black people and the blacks don't do this and they treat the blacks like this and we need to start standing together and we need to start helping one another. All of that shit sound good coming from somebody else.
Not from him, huh?
Not from him.
Cause
He's
you
the
been by.
wrong spokesperson. Get him off the stage. I think him, the same reason why Ciroc probably feeling the way they feel about him, the same way I was feeling about him when I heard him speak. We don't want him to be the spokesperson for this. You know,
Right.
words don't, they not intelligent enough. His eyes bucked up in his head like he can't believe what he's saying. Look like he's sweating. He look like a nigga going to jail when he up there speaking.
I saw him talking on Earn Your Leisure, and they was asking him. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw like a few clips or whatever, and they would ask him a question, and they would obviously they this Earn Your Leisure we talking about, so they trying to explain finance to the people, and they would ask him like a specific question about like how he got what, when, and how, and he would just kind of be kind of tap dancing around how he answered it and stuff, kind of like he didn't know what he was talking about. But how could he not know what he talking about if he, billionaire Diddy love and
But,
stuff?
but they but they need to ask him like, how do you make the most of your money? He gonna say through publishing on this ownership of publishing. What is publishing? Publishing is other people's works.
Mm,
Publishing is how God created other people to be talented, and then I stand in the way, and then I get a check for them being talented, and then I put them out into the world. Then I get the money, and then I leave those people that's talented sitting over there. I don't share the money with them. That's
mm,
publishing. That's
damn.
publishing. I would never want to be owning people's souls. I don't buy people's souls. When you buy somebody's publishing, you bought their soul. I'm telling you, people got to understand what's going on, man.
Wow. But
That's my hard
that
work.
sound
That's
like
what God helped me to be this person out here. And why the hell you getting a check?
I mean that sound like the music industry. I feel like that's why a lot of people quote unquote or so to speak sell they soul to the music industry for, a bigger platform. This person got a track record of, somebody signing with them and blowing them up because people want that look, you know what I'm saying? When they don't
Yeah,
really kind of know what they even doing at the time.
yeah, you're right. But that's how it happens. There's a lot of people who want it and don't really understand what they're asking for. It's a lot that comes along with fame.
When did you
You
come
know,
to this realization, and when did you stop working with Diddy, and what did you do afterwards?
well, after after I worked with him, what I did was one, I realized that I have way more things to do in this world than I'm not worried about what I do with him. I'm worried about what I do for myself. So when I realized that, that's when what I do is I just worked harder on being me. Trying to figure out what I like to do. What they say in life is, no matter what you do, as long as you love what you're doing, it'll make money for you.
Right.
People spend too much time doing what they got to do, opposed to people spending time doing what they want to do.
I think most people don't have the,
Every
or at least think they
yeah,
don't have the luxury of doing what they want to do because they got to do what they got to do.
everybody get up in the morning sometimes, and we all go to work. And if you ask everybody, damn near who goes to work, do they want to go? They'll tell you no.
Hell no.
I do not be at work today, but they doing what they got to do
Got to get that
because this
money.
is how they got to get the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's code. That jobs are performed. Sometimes when you look at employment, they only designed for you to go to work and come back tomorrow, because you're gonna need to keep coming back. Imagine if you went to work for one day and you made $1 million, nobody would go back to work again.
Hell nah. Why would they?
Right. So the job is not designed for you to come and get $1 million. It's designed to keep you coming back.
Exactly. That's why you got to spend your time outside of your job so you can one day leave that job. Or you got to just take the leap and do what you want to do until you can fend for yourself.
find out something that's creative about yourself.
Hmm. I feel like a lot of
Everybody,
people don't got that in them though. I feel like society is kind of set up for like some people to be workers or society wouldn't even work. And some
it
people
definitely is.
are meant to like live outside of that matrix and like benefit from the people who work. It's
You're right
sad
about
reality, but that's just how the cookie crumbles, kind of.
Yeah, it does. But you just know your objective and what your purpose may be is that though, even though there's a lot of people who don't have, because I have my purpose is to, I'll sit back and I'll listen and watch those who have a clue that be like, how somebody's real close to to the winning part and you can see it. You be like, if they just walk over just a little bit to the right, they're gonna run right into it.
Mm,
It's right there. And then you be sitting there like, it's right there. But you can't cheat and be like, hey, it's to your right. Because God would get mad at you. He'd be like, man, every person that I got on this kind of challenge is supposed to figure it out on their own.
right.
You is not supposed to help nobody who's looking for me. Like, I'm God. I can help those people. I can help. We be like, right there, right there. You know what I'm saying? And so it ain't meant for everybody to get that. It's not meant for you to tell them, and it's not meant for them to learn it from you. It's meant for them to learn it from their walk.
Mm,
If man, a blind person can walk into a room, and because they're blind, they can feel energy,
right.
right?
That's what it be seeming
So if
like. That's what Stevie Wonder be doing. I be
Yeah,
swearing he
so
can
you
see
don't have to
sometimes.
actually have eyes to see and believe. People only believe what they see, and they only believe what they see with their eyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People don't believe in their heart. Now, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Have you ever seen your heart?
No.
Has it ever failed you?
Nope. Not yet.
Have you ever thought about something with your mind real heavy
Yep.
and it
Yep.
didn't come true?
Yeah.
Has your mind ever failed you?
Yeah. My mind done failed me a few times.
But your
Like,
heart never failed you, right?
nah, not when I followed it like it was telling me to. But I don't. People don't often
We got to
follow their
learn to
hearts.
follow our heart more. The moral of that story is we got to learn to follow our hearts instead of following our minds. Our minds always lead us wrong. Our hearts never fail us.
But you don't think?
It ain't nobody living that I could sit and have a conversation with and be like, has your heart failed you? And with them still being there, that means it failed you and it came back, but it still ain't failed you because you're here. But if your heart failed you, you would be dead.
Mm, that's true. Mark Curry dropping facts on this motherfucker. But I gotta.
Yeah.
You say you live in Atlanta?
Yeah, all day.
I'm from Alabama, man, and I got a lot of family in Atlanta and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
take Germany.
how did I make it to Germany?
Yeah.
Well, I used to be in the military, man. I was in the military for like 4 years, but I was never stationed over here. But when I got out, like right before I got out, I met like a German woman online and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
she like came to visit me, and I was pursuing my music when I got out, and I had a little money left over from the military, and I was running around shooting music videos, putting a lot of money into like trying to make my shit pop, and like you know how oversaturated shit is in America, and I'm from Alabama, and it wasn't really no industry and stuff. Although like
Mm-hmm.
Warren G is my cousin, and I did link up with him, but that's a whole nother story and shit. But yeah, I ran out of money real quick trying to, run my shit. And she was like, you should come to Germany and try your music over here because you'll be more of a commodity because it ain't so many people who like look the part like you and got good music. And
Mm-hmm.
you won't have to sift through so many other people to get on and stuff. And she ended up being right about that. So I came out here and stayed, and I've been out here for like 13, 14 years at this point.
That's crazy. I will say this, brother. For you to do that and still be a voice that we can use to be heard is very powerful, man. I really appreciate you taking those steps because that makes us a better people, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you saying that, man. Oh, it's raining and shit.
Yeah, it's raining out here. I had to go to my work truck and grab some stuff off of the truck that I couldn't let get wet. I got
Oh,
a man in his tools.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
one thing I always did, bro. Whenever I got money, I always bought tools. And that's the reason why I can be a carpenter because I bought tools.
You're a carpenter
So
now.
many different ways to win. Yeah, I'm a carpenter. That's what I do. I build houses. I build homes.
Oh, okay. You
That's up
got
my.
that's your
Mhm.
company. That's what
I
you.
talked to Puff about building homes. Sean John edition of homes. That didn't go as far as I could throw a fat woman.
Yeah, I think I saw you said something about that when you was on the phone with him about the publishing. You was trying to sell it back to him, or you
Yeah,
was
I was
like,
sending it back fast too. I'm like, soon as he said it's yours, I was like, cool. Want to buy it? That's when I knew it wasn't worth nothing because he was like, nah, I'm straight. How you gonna be straight on something you've been on? Come on, buy it back, please.
right. But that's dope
Please,
that you
do me a
found.
favor. Huh?
That's dope that you found something else that you could be just as passionate with, and like,
Yep, I found something else. And not only that, the other thing that I always recommend to people is love. And this, like you say, love moved you out to Germany, and that you've been there 13 years, just having somebody who believed in you.
mm,
And when you have somebody believe in you, no matter if you fail or anything like that, a person that believes in you, that makes you keep going.
right.
So during my rough times, I always had a girl that believed in me and that helped me be stronger. So I'm gonna always give my hat. I'm gonna take my hat off for my lady, Lady Wonder Woo, for being there for me and helping me and pushing me to be more, helping me establish my company. You know, all of that. I think if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have that. But
That's a
I'm
beautiful
thankful
thing,
for that.
man. Yeah, I'm not actually with that woman anymore. We were married
Oh man, she
for
lost.
for a few years, but the one I'm married again, and I have two beautiful mixed German and black kids now, and she pushes me to a whole nother level. You know what I'm
Wow,
saying?
that's crazy. You
Hmm.
want to you want to know something interesting? And this, I don't want to hold a long time, but let's say if it's a white person that's born in Africa,
Right.
if they come to the United States, guess what they are?
White.
They're African.
If a white person is born in Africa and they come to America, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. They African.
They're African. Do you know how many black people would trip out if they would be like, "Where you from?" Say, "I'm African." They'd be like, "You not African, you white." See, you don't have to be white or black to be African.
That's true. I think it was a UFC fighter that was about to fight in the UFC when it was like three black African American champions or something,
Hmm.
and he was white, and he was like, "I'm the only real African American in the UFC," and they was mad at him, but he was right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This a thing. This something that grow on people. You don't have to be a male to be a doctor. Since
Right.
every time we think a doctor, we think of a man. A woman can be a doctor.
Of course. We
We
need to
don't think of it, bro.
let go of all them racial labels and all that
That's what
shit.
a lot of it is. Yeah, a lot of it is just it's something we don't need to be in there. We don't need to be listening to somebody who say, people are taking advantage of a certain ethnic of people, an ethnicity, you know that word, of
Ethnicity.
people. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And they talking about people taking advantage of this group of people, and then you done took advantage of that whole side of town.
Yeah, that's kind of what I preach on my show, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of black people kind of inadvertently have like this victim mentality to where they done bought into everything we've been told for so long about being black and how you can't do this. And you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. This joint just did some weird stuff.
Oh, okay.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
black people done bought
My
into
bad.
like the whole trope about you can't do this and you can't do that because you're black, because you're gonna be held back and all type of shit. And I guess on a certain level that it is certain hurdles that black people have that other people may not have. But if you really want to do something, it's not really nothing stopping you in this day and age. I mean, look at me, man. I'm from a little small town in 5 Points, Alabama that ain't even on the map. Grew up there. It was like the population was less than 200 people. Grew up on a farm. My city ain't even got a gas station or a stoplight. You know what I'm saying? My parents,
Mm.
my parents' parents were sharecroppers. My mom was one of the first women to be integrated into like black schools in Alabama and shit. And me, little old me, I'm all the way over here in Germany, done traveled the world touring with my music, you know what I'm saying? Reached millions of people with just my words now, own land in another country and got kids and own a two story house over here. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me.
Man, congratulations. That sound like you a rapper.
Yeah, I'm a rapper.
Yeah, you the rapper, man. We want to be like you.
But I
You're
just
an
said that to
influence and
say like
inspiration.
I just said that to say like you ain't it ain't nothing that you can't do that you don't put your mind and your heart to. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say
And that, but
I'm gonna say your heart.
but
It
you
ain't.
know, yup. But you remember, unrealistic expectations is something that we as people have to deal with, and then also as black people, this is black people, and not just black, but black, the culture of black people,
Hmm.
not black people like wicked people, but it's we got to stop thinking that just because, like, if they release an iPhone 16, who you think gonna be first in line to go get it to say they got it?
Oh, the black folk.
And then when they get the phone, they're gonna turn it. They're gonna call somebody, and it's gonna be the same phone call they would have made from any other phone, right?
Oh yeah. Same with
But we feel like we are so different because we got that iPhone 16, the iPhone 17. We got to stop going for that and stop finding ourselves in ownership of things. We want to own a car and then feel like we're different because we have this car. We
uh-huh.
want to have a purse and feel like we're different because we have this purse. Or we want to own a watch and feel like we're different because we have this watch. That does not determine or make you who you are. And
Yeah.
as black people, we have to realize that so we can stop buying stuff that, when they sell stuff, they already market it to us. So because they know we gonna buy it. So then we don't have no money because we keep buying stuff and making people richer.
That's true. That's facts.
Stop buying sometimes and slow down. If you got a phone and you can make a phone call on it, it don't matter if it's an iPhone, an Android, a Cricket, a Flip. It don't matter as long as the call gets made. And you shouldn't be on the phone talking to somebody longer than a couple of seconds. Conversation only take 2 minutes. I'm here. I'm downstairs. It's there, like that. We get
Exactly.
on the phone and talk.
Me, I'm a texter. Tell me, get to the point. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you
Yeah.
trying to tell me. I'm gonna tell you what I'm trying to tell you. I might send you a voice note. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, get to the point.
Imagine you going to a restaurant and you see a black couple in there, and they're in the restaurant, and both him and her are on the phone, and
Mm-hmm.
you be like, y'all on the phone, probably taking pictures of I'm here and this and all of this. Y'all not even spending time with each other, talking to each other. Y'all just on the phone. You
Yeah.
see that all the time, and you be like, damn. What happened to the when we come downstairs? We got to leave our phones in the car. Remember when your parents used to do that?
Yeah.
Leave that there. Leave that. Nobody bring none of that down to the table.
Or the dinner table. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
feel
you
like
can't
you're
bring
right.
that.
That is a part of black culture, like wasting and getting like the newest luxury item, the new J's. I seen a video the other day. It's like a new trend. I can't remember where. Maybe it's in Florida or Miami or something. I might be mistaken of where it's happening. It might be Atlanta, but it was a whole bunch of dudes in the club, and they were just pouring out liquor, like the most expensive liquor bottles they had in the club. They was having like a liquor pour out competition to see.
Yeah, they do that. A bottle. It's called like a bottle war.
Yeah,
So we'll be in there. Yeah,
stupid.
we
Some of the
used to do that.
stupidest shit I
You
ever
be in,
seen.
huh?
That's some of the stupidest shit I ever seen.
It's the stupidest shit in the world. But you know what? You got to also say this. You're gonna go to the club, buy a 500 bottle of champagne and drink it, and then go to the bathroom and piss and then leave.
Pissing your money away.
Pissing your money away. You just gonna piss it out and then leave. I'm not. Do you be like after some time you wake up, you be like, even with money, you be like, yo, I'm throwing money away. You be like, yo, every $100, you got to come to a realization. You be like, in order to have 100, you're gonna need 10 tens. You're gonna need 25s,
Mm-hmm.
100 ones, and you really don't have $100 if you only got 15 fives.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have $100 if you only got 9 tens.
Right.
It's just understanding the value of money and then how it's made and how you spend it. You can't spend money as fast as you make it. You
But
know
a
what I'm
lot
saying?
of
If you
people
go to
do.
work and you work 8 hours to make $120, why would you make $120 and you go to work for a day, then turn around and go take somebody out to eat for $120? It means you just worked the whole day just to take somebody out to eat, and they may not even like you.
Yeah, but
I'm not.
I wouldn't do it. But in
Me
today's
neither.
culture, in today's world, tricking is cool. It's cool to spend with you ain't goddamn press the chick, and she might not even let you smash.
Yeah, you might not, but you got to make sure she appreciates sandwiches. That's why you got to start off with them asking them weird questions like, "Hey, babe, what's up? You like roast beef?" She be like, "Yeah, cause I make a hell of a roast beef sandwich."
Mm-hmm.
You just got
go
to throw it out there,
go
right?
ahead and
Hey,
gear
babe,
her up for
would you
that
like
for
to have
that
a sandwich?
sandwich later
Huh?
on.
Yeah, you got to prep it up. You got to do the overplay for the underplay. You know what I'm saying? People don't know that, but that's just the way the world. That's just the way I think. I think totally different than the average person, bro.
I can see
That's
that,
that's what
man.
I think. That's what I think about me. If as soon as somebody says something, and if you listen to the average person, every time they say something, either it's a lie or something they ain't think about.
Mm, that's probably true. That's probably
The
true.
truth. It's more people who talk to you about. I'll get off of this and be like, yeah, I was just doing an interview in Germany, and people will really think like, yo, Curry, you out there in Germany, and I leave them at that instead of telling the truth. Nah, my man out there got a show out there in Germany. He put me on the show, so I know I'm gonna be speaking in front of a few people. So I do feel like I'm there, but I actually didn't go.
Mm-hmm. But most people ain't gonna say that second part. They're just gonna let them run with. Oh, that nigga flew out to
Did it
Germany.
in Germany?
That's so true. That's so true. People love
That's just
exaggerating stories or leaving them vague for people's imagination
yeah.
to run wild.
Yeah, makes you think. It makes people think different. You know what I'm saying? People make people think they rich. They even do that just by driving. You know how many people be driving around in cars, no insurance,
Mm.
no ain't paid the. They got this thing out here where they go to the rent a car place and get a car, and then never take the car back, and then put rims on it and all of that. They think the car really theirs.
Wow. I be wondering, like, how is it so much money in Atlanta that everybody got some insane luxury car? But last time I was home, that was a little bit after the PPP thing. So I guess a lot of people bossed up and bought cars and shit. I know so many people who got that PPP, black people, my cousins, my kinfolks who got that PPP loan. And I would write them and I'll be like, oh, because you could, when they got the PPP loan, you could look it up and see who got it, like in your area and
Yeah,
stuff. And I looked it
I
up.
got,
Say what?
I got me, I
But
got
you
me one.
you own a business though. You probably got it and did the right thing.
I'm forgiven. When it's say forgiven, that's when you know. Well, you got a loan, but it's forgiven. I mean, they not coming after you for the money that they gave you. But when you look at somebody PPP and it's not forgiven, and it might say ongoing,
Yeah.
they ass in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of my kinfolk that did that shit, they don't own no business. And I would write them and be like, "Hey, I know you own a business. How you get the PPP loan?" They be like, "Oh man, I'm about to."
That's how you get the PPP
Yeah, like,
loan.
"Oh man, I'm about to start a carpet cleaning business or something like that." I'm like, "Man, you going to
Yeah, long
jail?"
service.
That's
Yeah,
like
you
that's
know
like robbing a bank.
how many?
That's like robbing the bank and leaving your ID on the table while you walking out because they got all your information.
Ain't that something else, man? I tell you, that's what it is. It's like walking, doing a bank robbery on the bus.
Yeah, but people want to look
Yeah,
rich so bad though. They like fuck it.
yeah, you got a lot of them. So you got a lot of them. Then those is people who turned into the made hit. They was like they the ones who do hip hop now. They the ones who riding around with the diamonds in the cars and all of this. So then all the girls was caught up in that. You know how many nail salon was started throughout the United States of America behind PPP loans?
And beauty supply stores and stuff.
Yo,
Yeah, and beauty supply stores and all that.
all of that, man. They was starting up all kind of lawn services, everything. Niggas thought they gonna go buy a zero.
That would keep happening.
Just what it was. But I did mine right. I did what I had to do, you know.
Yeah, as
But
long as you did it
hey,
right.
man, I did what I had to do.
Yeah, but I ain't trying to
You
hold you
know.
up for too much for the whole day. I
Yeah,
know you probably got stuff to do.
yeah. We got to do this again though, cause you in Germany. I like it. So, and this was more than just talking about publishing and talking about Puff. It was really more talking about life, me, and I liked it. I liked having this kind of interview. So if there's any other time that we have the opportunity to do it again, I would really greatly appreciate it.
I would definitely appreciate it too, man. I appreciate you for doing this one. I would say next time, because I got a lot of family in Atlanta, man. And last time I was there, I interviewed one of my rapper cousins in Atlanta, and I would love to pull up on you in Atlanta next time I'm at home and do it in person, man. I'll bring all my gear and we can
Yeah.
do it nice.
Yes. Can I ask you a question? Can I send you a new song that I'm working on that I'm gonna release? I'm gonna release a couple of songs on September 15th.
Okay. Hell yeah, you can send it to me.
You know that's the day that Puff is releasing his album.
Oh, that's when he dropping the
So I'm gonna release. So look, I'm gonna send you a couple of songs. I want you to see if you can get them to these DJs if you can, and help me build that little Germany buzz up, or not little, that big Germany buzz that I'm sure you could possibly do. I just wanna put some good music out there right now.
Hey man, I'm gonna shoot you my email after this. Send them over. I definitely got
Okay, I'll
all the
do that
DJ
too.
plugs out here.
Yeah, I'm gonna send them to you, and then tell them, man, that I need all the support. I'll do interviews with them. I talk to them. Whatever it is that we need to do to make a whole bunch of sense. I'm into it.
Can like now that you own, I mean, can you still perform like your old hits? Like,
Yeah, I
can you?
can, but who gonna call me for the Super Bowl to do the Bad Boy for Life without Puff and without Rob?
Nah, I ain't talking about. I'm talking about Germany, man. Germany
Yeah.
loves old school music, and I know these dudes. They do this thing called old but gold out here. They just brought out Cassidy and like a whole bunch of like they bring out. You know what I'm saying? Older
hmm
artists who got a few hit songs, and they give them a whole concert. It be club looks and like festival looks and stuff. But I'm
Right.
just saying, if you're
Once I
interested
put
in
this
that,
I put this new album out there, I definitely come out there because then I have a new album of songs. I could come out and do a whole album of music. So definitely would love to do that once I have that platform together. But as far as coming out there doing a couple of verses here without Puff and then here without Rob, that's one thing about Rob. When Rob died, I lost a whole side of my music. So
mm,
there's no longer, I don't have that opportunity to do Bad Boy for Life or perform on those stages with him. So I just got to create new content, and then hopefully I can get there. And I really want to get there because I love to come out there and experience that Germany life.
all right, man. Well, like I said, send it to me, and you always welcome to pull up on me, bro.
All right, I swear if I ever my passport get right and I got that extra change, I'm coming out there, man, because I'm gonna come out there and personally go to Glock. I want to go to see what Glock is doing, how they make them guns. I
All right,
want to
man.
come out there to the M16 plant.
Go ahead. I mean, it's out here. It was one question I
Yeah,
wanted to ask you before we get off. It got totally not much to do with what we was talking about just then, but
what up?
because I was rewatching that that Bad Boys for Life music video earlier, and
Hmm.
it reminded me of that funny scene with Ben Affleck. You remember that? Who came up with that
Yeah.
part? Did you like have anything with the video production or anything like that?
No, I didn't. But I could tell you this much. You ain't noticed that my whole verse, the only thing they gave me was a one scene on the bike. They didn't give me nothing else but just sit on the bike and rap. And then through my whole verse, it was Shaquille O'Neal. It was just every other cameo was on my verse.
Oh, I noticed that. I was like, why he only rapping on the bike?
Cause they didn't want me when people used to tell Puff that I was the hottest person on the song, he used to get mad. So he was doing whatever he could, even interrupting my verse to put Ben Stiller on there to say, "Hey, Puff Daddy," or whatever. And then I come in, it ain't shit changed. And then after that, it went to cameo, Shaquille O'Neal, and then Snoop Dogg, and then him performing in the garage with Fuzz Bubble. All of this, my verse got drowned. My mother was totally pissed off. Rest in
Wow.
peace. She was totally upset about it, and that's what she didn't like Puff after that. She was like, why he got all of those people doing all of this stuff on your verse? And the reason why he was doing that was to make people not pay attention to me. I've been
Wow.
hot. I'm gonna see this new music. Let the music speak for itself. If the music is whack, send it back.
I got you, but you just kind of blew my mind because I definitely noticed. And you feel like that's why people didn't really associate you with the song as much as Diddy?
He separated me right on off from there. Like and then a lot of times when we would go do shows like on TV or something like that, they'll cut my verse off.
Mm.
To cut my verse. Like if it was on MTV and then they was doing MTV, they'll play it Black Rob and Puff, and then they'll cut my verse off.
Yeah, that's how they usually do the last verse. You be glad you be lucky if they play the second verse, especially in the club and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
they was cutting me off on the regular.
But that was a hot ass verse. That was a hot ass verse though. It
He
didn't
didn't want
deserve to
that to
be the
be
last.
heard. If that was everybody was expecting me to drop an album after that, and now they was expecting to hear more from me. And he was so mad. He was so jealous of me, man. Just jealous of me that he did not want to let me have that opportunity.
Damn, he wanted to keep you on the back burner and just have you writing for him and shit.
Writing songs, just writing songs. Just keep on writing, boy. Yeah, okay, cool. Write this book. So I want
Damn.
everybody in Germany to go Google, Mark Curry book, Dancing with the Devil, how Puff burnt the bad boys of hip hop. It's on Amazon. Grab a book, grab an ebook. I'm gonna have music out, and when you hear the music, please support it because I want to get to Germany for real. I want to come to Germany just for a piece of German chocolate cake, and I heard they don't even sell that there.
Yeah, I mean it's just chocolate cake here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I want to come there for some German chocolate cake.
But for sure, man, we'd definitely love to have you out here. And as far as that book, can you give them the title one more time? Because you kind of broke up a little bit.
It's Dancing with the Devil, How Puff Burnt the Bad Boys of Hip Hop.
All right, I'm
You
gonna put.
put that, it's Google that, and it's on Amazon. Or Mark Curry book. Just do Mark Curry book, and you're gonna see it too.
All right, I'm gonna put the link in the description section on YouTube so everybody could just scroll down and check that out. But other than that, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the gems that you dropped. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we see you out here soon, and I'm gonna pull
Man,
up on you
hopefully.
in Atlanta when I come out there too.
All right, bet. I'm looking forward to that, and let's stay in communication. We friends now, bro.
For sure, bro. I feel the same. All right, man.
Thank y'all. All
Thanks.
right.
Peace.